Hey there YouTube, it's Grant Danino. I've got a new video from Meren of Clan Nel Toth, and this is a completely updated 2021 version of the commander, completely up to date. There's a lot of videos on Meren out there, but they're old, and I think that some of the new cards are just amazing for Meren. Something else I wanted to cover in this is using proxies. I do use proxies in this deck. Mainly, first I own all the cards. For example, I own multiple black decks, and I run Demonic Tutor in most of them. Now, some I don't, just because I want the power levels to be a little bit lower in case I meet new friends. But, Demonic Tutor, especially this unlimited one, is very expensive, and I don't want to get it ruined. Neither do I want to have to buy one for every deck. So, you're going to see some proxies in this deck. And I also want to show you what they look like and how easy they are to make. So, real quick before we begin, this is a proxy and a non-proxy. So this right here is a proxy that I made. Really simple. I literally just printed the art of the card and then put it in front of another card. And then here's the actual real card, right? So that's the difference. Nobody cares. My friends all know about it. And I have this binder with me. So if I'm at a card shop and I want to play a deck, I can switch them out real fast, the proxies. Or I'll just let them know, it's like, hey, I have proxies in the deck. They don't really affect anything. And when we play, I can switch them out with the real cards if you like. Or if you don't mind, just to save me time, I'd rather not do it. So usually, I've never had anybody say, no, you have to use the real card. I think you're cheating. Everybody's been really cool. So why don't we start by jumping into Meren of Clan Nel Toth. So here's Meren. She's one of the ones that I altered with paint. We'll start with ramp. So let's see what we're doing with ramp here. So we got a really nice ramp package here. We're running Artifact Ramp, your Arcade Signet Soul Room. Jewel Lotus is great for any 4 mana cost commanders, especially if they're 2 colors. If they cost 1 of each color, whether it's blue, green, red, white, and not like blue, blue, red, red, something along those colors, 1 of each color, you can get turn 1 commanders with Jewel Lotus. So this is a great ad. Along with Commander Legends came 3 visits. And I'm running your regular green ramp package because we are in green. So we've got your Kodama's Reaches and Rampant Growth and those along those lines. But also we have a small package of creatures because with Meren, we can use them to regenerate the creatures, the 1-cost ones especially, just to get her experience counters up. So I'm running the Farm Hands and the Sakura Tribe Elders, and that's ramp. If you want me to slow down, I guess you can always pause to take a read of the ones too, but I really want to go over what makes this deck important. So after that, I have the most valuable players. Now these are the cards that I'm trying to get every single game, no matter what. So if I see these, I'm very happy. Start with Massacre Worm. Sewer Nemesis, a recent addition. I got it in a mystery booster. It's really, really good. Often it turns out to be a 30-30 creature. It's very good. So, Sewer Nemesis, power and toughness is equal to the number of cards in my graveyard. You can choose the graveyard as it enters. It becomes really big, and it's nice to have. This is one of my absolute favorites, Massacre. Whenever a player sacrifices another permanent, put +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and that includes other people. So I have a lot of stuff that makes other people sacrifice cards, as well as sack outlets myself. That mixed with Azonia Thousand Eyes. When he enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 green insect token for each creature card in your graveyard, as well as letting you gain life and draw cards is really nice. But recurring him every turn to a sack outlet, you can swarm the board with tokens, and then with Massacre and a sack outlet, sack those tokens to make your tokens enormous. So these two are my favorite. They're just fun. Of course, I've got. Oh, let me get some focus. I've got Kakusho, the Evening Star. Really, really fantastic card. I've got a Shieldred here. Also, every single time I want to see her, just because she just controls my opponent's board, as well as letting me pop back my Kakusho or my Massacre. This card right here, I want to have you just focus on Filth here. My buddy traded me this foil one, and I was drawn to it. It says Swamp Walk. As long as Filth is in your graveyard and you control a swamp, creatures you control have Swamp Walk. Well, with this card right here, this is a 2-card combo nobody thinks of. So Urborg makes everybody have swamps. This gives everybody Swamp Walk. So it's basically all your creatures are unblockable. And it's the most guarded combo you can think of. Because Filth is in your graveyard. So for the most part, people don't always have something on hand that targets your graveyard. Also, Urborg's a land. So, it would be different if it was an enchantment or a creature that was on the field. Because then they could be like, well, I'm going to chaos warp that, So this is fantastic. Great safe combo. Dictative Erebos, giving people a little bit extra sacrifice. Spore Frog, I think you guys knew this was coming. I'm going to sacrifice this, and in a 1 versus 1 game, if you get Spore Frog out, it's essentially over. Because anything they try to do to even exile Spore Frog, you can sack it in response to their like path to exile. So it's really a great card. And Hermit Druid, probably the MVP. Want this card every game. Look, I have tutors in this, and as soon as I get a tutor, he's always the #1 first thing I'm looking for is Hermit Druid. Just so I can read it. So you pay 1 and tap reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a basic land. Put that land into your hand, and then all other cards revealed into your graveyard. So I run very few basic lands in this deck, and sometimes I'll get 15 cards off him every time I tap him. So Plaguecrafter. Okay, so I have a little package here, basically all doing the same thing. Plaguecrafter is a little bit better because it says each player has to sacrifice a creature or planeswalker, and if they can't, they have to discard a card, right? For 3 mana, I think all these are roughly the same price except for Slum Reaper. But when they enter the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature. Same with Fleshbag Marauder. Generally, what I'll do is I will have Meren pop one of these guys out as soon as they hit the table. I will sacrifice themselves again, and at the end of turn, I'll just do that. You have a Dictative Erebos out, and then it just kind of clears the board while pumping up your Meren's counters. Also, if you have stuff like your Massacre out, it can make everybody just get really big too. So these are great. If they make more of these in the future, I'll run more of these because I want to get these in my graveyard every game as well. So those are the hey, I want these every game, and those are going to really pump up my chances of winning. And then I think after that, why don't we go into the cards I don't think that are as crazy to have and most necessary. Now, some of these I will say are good. I would always run Caustic Caterpillar. It's really good to have a recursion on something that lets you destroy artifacts and enchantments. Same with Thrashing Brontodon. But a couple of these cards I wouldn't necessarily play. This is a lot of my removal. So I've got Abrupt Decay, Toxic Deluge, Shriek Maw, Assassin's Trophy. Pot of Ulamog. It gives me stuff to sack. I would be okay with interchanging this with something else if I found something else that comes cool. I've seen some really neat stuff in the new Kaldheim set, and I have one that I might pull it out for. Bitter Blossom is just a fantastic card, just mostly for blocks and sacks. Stronic Resonator lets me copy Meren. This Jared, something else that I would take out, but is so far been really good. Also, that being able to sacrifice my 30/30 creature and do 30 damage is actually really nice, as well as I can just pop him back to my hand. Sir Conrad the Grim, good card, but not necessarily the best in this deck. Definitely not bad though. So what he does is kind of cool. Is whenever a creature is put into a graveyard, he deals the damage to each opponent, right? So as I'm using my Hermit Druid, he can pop off and do 5 damage to everybody. So he's kind of nice to have. Grave Titan, powerful card, but it doesn't necessarily scream synergy. Eternal Witness does, though, however. Let me get some focus. Okay, so when Eternal Witness comes into play, you return target card from your graveyard to your hand. And it's not creature, it's any card, right? So that's pretty nice. And Butcher of Malakir, kind of expensive. Whenever Butcher of Malakir or another creature is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, each opponent sacks a creature. So I guess that would kind of be the sidestep cards. What do we have here? So this is kind of my searching and recursion, and this is another one of my my proxies. It looks pretty good, I think so. Birthing Pod lets me sack and then search my deck through for something. Reanimate. I count reanimate type cards as tutors because really I think I'd rather have things in my graveyard than not. I'm running Grim Tutor, Vampiric Tutor, Diabolic Intent, Buried Alive. Fantastic card. So it lets you search your library to 3 creature cards and put them into your graveyard, then shuffle your library for 3 mana. That's very good. Journey to Eternity. So when you enchant this to a creature and then sack it, it flips into a land. And the land says pay 5, tap, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And this is a fantastic way to get out of Shieldred if Meren keeps getting removed. So we got your Victimize, lets things pop out of the graveyard, essentially tutoring from your library or your hand, which is your graveyard. I'm running Demonic Tutor and Phyrexian Reclamation. Pay 2 life, return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. There's a lot of stuff that makes you lose life in this deck. So like necropotence and stuff like that. So this is what I'm kind of doing for life gain and draw. I do need life gain. So for draw, I have Midnight Reaper. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, Midnight Reaper deals 1 damage to you and you draw a card. Something also I wouldn't mind taking out and replacing. Falkenrath Noble. A little bit of life gain. Not bad, some extra damage. Grey Merchant of Asphodel does some life gain as well as a really powerful finishing card. Dark Prophecy. Whenever a creature you control dies, you draw a card and lose a life. Skull Clamp for all those bug tokens. Necropotence for more card draw. So this is also kind of cool. Whenever it's like the Falkenrath Noble. Basically, you gain life and deal damage whenever something dies. So it's just that life gain is super important in this deck, mainly because a lot of things like the there's so many things that pay life in the lands. So when you run so many different non-basics, a lot of them have pay life abilities. So to like get the colors. So I have only a few sack outlets. I'm running Ashnod's Altar, Viscera Seer, Woe Strider, which is one of my favorites. This one right here is under $1, and it lets you sack to scry 1, but it has escape. So you can keep bringing it back from your graveyard. And when it escapes, it comes back bigger. So it's kind of a beater. It gives you things to sacrifice, and it's a sack outlet, and it's 3 mana. So I think this is well underrated, and this is one of the back end cards I would remove from my deck if I was to upgrade. I would keep this over some of my more expensive cards that you wouldn't think. This is a fantastic card, and I really like it. Oh, I left one back. Altar of Dementia, right? So sacrifice a creature, mill yourself, put more stuff in the graveyard, 2 mana. I guess lastly now, we're going into... What is this one? I guess now, yeah, we go into just the mana base, and that's it. So for the mana base, Urborg, I'm running it with Cabal Coffers. That's kind of a combo here. I'm running some fetches, Bloodstained, Polluted Delta, Misty Rainforest, Prismatic Vista, and Marsh Flats. And I own all of these cards, right? And if I was to have to buy these every time I wanted to make a land base, it'd be expensive. And like I said, I don't do it. I have 3 and 4 color decks. I'm not running a ton of fetches in just because I want variety of power levels in my decks. When I play with a buddy, he's like, hey man, I just made this new deck. I'm excited to try it out. And if it gets better, I might want to upgrade it. I don't want to always grab like an optimized deck to play against my friend's new deck. Or, if you're playing at the card shop, it doesn't really feel good to always have like your decks optimized. Sometimes it's nice to have something that's a little bit less optimized to play with people. So, but in this, it's mainly just for the Hermit Druid triggers, right? So, or else I wouldn't really do this for a 2-color deck. I got a lot of fetches. I got Castle Locthwain, which lets me get a little extra draw. Just your basic, a lot of you'll see a lot of basic lands here that you would think, but Phyrexian Tower for a sec. A lot of the new green-black. I'm running Nykthos. This lets me sack to draw a card. It's kind of useful in this. This one is the one I was looking for. So this is a new one from Commander Legends. It's a fantastic card, and if you don't have these yet, I'd get them now while they're under $10, because I could see these going up to $20 in the future. So like, if you're seeing this video within like a month of me posting it, I would say pick up the things that you want to now. Other than that, like, yeah, it's just a lot of these green-black lands. This one flips. Exotic Orchard, Golgari. And then after that, I'm running, I think, 8. Oh, I got War Room. This is also another one from Commander Legends that's fantastic. Draw a card, paying life. See, all this pay life. So then we're going to go, we got, what? I think I'm running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swamps and 3 forests. And that's it for non-basics. And now that's my deck tech. So thank you very much. But if you guys want to stick around just a second, I wanted to talk about using proxies and how I do it. So if you're done, that's fine. Thank you for watching. But essentially what I do for proxies is I found a website. It's called MTG Proxy Generator. Sometimes they get taken down. This one seems like it's been up for a while. You just type in the card. You hit generate. It gives you the card, and if you hit print, it comes into a PDF file. You can put an entire deck list. I've proxied an entire deck for a buddy who's getting into Magic. He loved his deck and then eventually built it himself. But essentially, I just print out the PDFs. They're already perfect to size. In fact, let me show you one of these proxies. They come out really, really nice. And then what I usually do is I'll go pick up like a 96-cent glue stick from the store, and then I will just put these on top. So this is the proxy. You can tell, see the shininess on the sides. And it's obviously, I have a printer that cost me $40 from Walmart. It's called an HP 5000. So get the HP 5000. It's from across the table, honestly, people don't even know. But, you know, up close, you can obviously see it. But, yeah, so you can play test decks and stuff like that, too. And, like, next to them, you can't really tell that much that they're proxies. So I highly recommend talking to your play group, asking about proxies, and that way it can cut the costs of deck building. I mean, I really wouldn't want to buy more than one Phyrexian Tower. I don't want to buy more than one Vampiric Tutor. I don't want to buy more than one Toxic Deluge. I don't want to spend all of the money I have on Magic cards. As nice as it has to collection, one is enough, maybe two if I pull one out of a pack. So thanks for watching, guys. I wish I could take a video of my phone. Maybe I'll use my actual camera to show you this new app I got that lets you track mana curves, track stats of your deck, see your average mana cost. So that'll probably be the video I do next. So thank you guys. Like, subscribe. If you're looking for more deck techs, follow me for sure. I'm definitely going to do more. I think next I'm probably going to do my Bryon Stout Arm deck or Sakashima and Vial Smasher. If you guys want to see Urza, Lord High Artificer, I have a really good deck tech on that. I've also done Olivia Voldaren, and I believe I still have a video up. I might have taken it down for my girlfriend. No, yeah, I did one recently. Yeah, so there's a Sliver deck as well to go ahead and check out. So thank you very much. Have a good rest of your night, guys.